I'm going to jump into the Catskills. The Catskills, something like 350 million years ago, 380 million years ago, the Berkshires and the Taconics were a range called the Acadian Mountains that were the equivalent of the Himalayas today. So 26,000 feet tall. And the Catskills were the river delta for those mountains, equivalent to the Ganges Delta of today. And over time, over the time of geology, the Catskills have been pushed, they've solidified into rock and they've been pushed up. But they're actually a raised river delta. And when you drive up the New York Thruway through the Hudson, you see the Catskills, this very dramatic wall, called the Wall of Manitou, this whole series of mountains, peaks. And there are two deep cuts in that wall. The first is called Flat Clove, and the second is called Catterskill Clove. And up in Catterskill Clove, there's a very famous waterfalls called Catterskill Falls, which was painted by the Hudson River School painters. It was quite a famous place. This is a poem set in the first of those cloves, called Platte Clove, which is my favorite road in the Catskills. It's a 1.5 lane road. It's closed in the wintertime. If you ever walk up and down it, you smell the brake linings of the few cars daring it. And you look off down the side, and on these steep slopes, you see the cars that didn't make it. There are a handful of these rusty hulks, just that'll never be pulled out. So this is a poem that's set up at the top of that. There's a little artist cabin that I stayed in once, and that's what, when I refer to Platte Clove in the poem, that's sort of picture that as where this poem is taking place. It involves the Catskills' most famous literary character, which is why I wanted to write it. It's called Insomnia. History has failed to record the mice who nested in Rip Van Winkle's beard, or the stinging nettles that grew for 20 summers between his rotting shoes. While Rip snored, chipmunks stashed acorns in his pockets, and spotted salamanders wiggled safely for generations beneath his back. Once, a bear tripped over his chest and stopped to eat his pipe. Wood toads hopped along his buttons, and ovenbirds sang "Teacher, teacher, teacher" in his ears all summer without prompting any nightmares. When Rip woke and wandered back to town with a rusty gun muzzle and 10-inch fingernails, he became America's first great celebrity of sleep, a cautionary tale of life without a snooze alarm. Tonight, I lay awake and listened to thunder echo in the clove like bowling pins bouncing off cliffs. In lightning, white curtains flash like the ghosts of children I never had. The old maple tree blusters helplessly in the storm. I wonder how Rip managed to forget his unpaid bills, his sullen boy, and bitter wife, who didn't look up from the butter churn when he closed the door to lead his dog up the mountain for an afternoon of hunting squirrels. He lay down for a moment long enough to sleep through his mortgage. I'd settle for 20 minutes without a mental post-it note. I'm a stunning success at staying awake and lamenting my lost chances. I visualize myself as a rotting log and begin counting toads on my chest moss. I wonder how Rip stumbled across the secret of human hibernation, a trick so wonderful I've paid to watch it in movies about people traveling to the stars.